and we are starting off really with the end of that major construction project over on the east side of Macomb County on Mound Road. Mound Road officially opened today after that rebuild from 11 Mile all the way up to M59. It is a key thoroughfare in Macomb County. So joining me now live is Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel. Mark, congrats. This is a big day. You cut the ribbon.
Yeah, it sure is, Christy. We did the barrel removal, just trying to get out of the way. More satisfied customers, by the way. But again, it really was a heck of an accomplishment. $220 million from every level of government actually supported the funding for this, but the largest local road project that we have ever embarked upon in the history of Macomb County. And I got to tell you, what an incredible feat this was with all the partners that actually helped support this. And it no longer is the pothole-ridden, stretch of roadway in the entire state of Michigan. It is probably the most technologically advanced stretch of roadway than anywhere probably in the country.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, it can be sport to complain about how bad Mound Road is, but now when you have an extra lane both in north and southbound, and you talk about it being technologically advanced, give us an idea of what drivers can expect now.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chrissy. Most people tend to look at a roadway. They're just more concerned about, at nighttime, can they see it? Is it well lit? How the traffic signal's interacting, and obviously the concrete. Is it a safe road to travel on? And so with that, obviously all those issues were addressed. Complete reconstruction on this roadway. Even obviously the concerns we have with drainage, no longer are those going to be a problem on this road. But what's most important about this that people don't see on a regular basis, if you think about your car, the vehicle-to-vehicle infrastructure that we have where cars can talk or communicate to one another, well, now we have the ability with our infrastructure that we have in place that if your car receives information about traffic signals that maybe are going to go through a change of rotation, if your car receives that, you're going to be able to get that information here, as well as obviously the smart technology of knowing how to get rid of traffic congestion so that you're not just sitting and waiting at a light, not necessarily if there is no traffic flowing the other way. So again, a lot of technological advances that are happening here on this particular stretch of roadway that I think you're going to see other roadways throughout the country wanting to come here and marvel over and wonder how we did that here in Macomb County.
Mark, this is also an economic thoroughfare for you in Macomb County, and making sure that when you say, hey, if businesses want to relocate here, and of course all the business that you already have along Mound, that you make sure that you've got good infrastructure.
Yeah, and this is how we actually were able to sell this particular project. This was the largest grant ever awarded by the federal government to a local road project. Usually these road projects are for federal projects and or state projects. We won this award based upon the economy we have here, not just because it was a bad stretch of roadway, but what we realized is the economic impact of this industry to Macomb County. It's about a $3 billion annual economic impact, but when we look at it as far as the impact it has on the state of Michigan and the nation's economy, that's when they realized we need to participate, and we got that $99 million from the actual federal government, and we supported it with local funding from Sterling Heights, the city of Warren, and even our state partners as well as the county of Macomb. Every level of government pitched in on this particular road project because of the economic impact this roadway has on the nation's economy.
All right, so I take a look behind you, and I see that the barrels, of course, have been pushed to the side of the road, but it looks like there's still some landscaping to be done. What are some of the things that we can see in the spring just to finish things up?
Yeah, great point, Christy. This is going to be, probably the aesthetics are going to be next. In other words, they probably may have to shut off the side of the road to get to the actual, obviously the middle of the roadway here itself to try to figure out how do we deal with landscaping, even on obviously the east and western portion of the roadway itself. So again, most of it is just going to be aesthetics, making sure it looks better, some things that some of the communities want in on here, but everything in this roadway, this project here, whatever, is pretty much complete so people can actually travel on it. It's just the incidentals that you're going to be seeing coming probably in the springtime.
All right, while I have you here, on the front page of the Detroit News today, I was talking about the digital campaign that Macomb County has launched since October, looking for workers, trying to entice them to the engineering and the IT and the tech jobs that you guys have in defense and aerospace. Talk to me about how that is going so far and how much that's costing you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It's interesting because we see what the state's doing right now, because the idea is try to figure out how do we attract talent. Look at Macomb County. Right now we have an incredible workforce. We have over 440,000 people in the workforce. Our unemployment is relatively low, 3.9%. and yet there are 48,000 jobs available in Macomb County alone across every industry sector. So the question is, how do we get those workers to come here? I know the governor and the state are working on trying to figure out how do we get people enticed to want to live here. So what we did with our planning department is we thought, let's look at a specific industry, and that's engineering talent. So UCLA, Purdue, we reached out and did some digital campaigning to get folks that are going to graduate from those universities to take a look at Macomb County. And so our MakeMacombYourHome.com, that whole idea to get people to see what's the value here, what are the job market here in Macomb County, and it's been incredible so far with people trying to figure out more about Macomb County to see if this is where they want to relocate, bring their families, obviously look for a job. So we're trying to, and we did it with just one sector so far, and that's engineering talent. We're going to be doing this with other sectors to try to figure out how do we get people to want to come to Macomb County, and we're hoping that the state and the region follows our lead on that and does the same thing to get people to want to come to our area here for jobs that we have available.
Yeah, and looking at quality of life, and of course coming out of growing the population and the council that the governor had. Hey, before I let you go, Mark, I can't resist talking about a little bit of politics as we're heading into 24. Of course, nationally, people are looking at Michigan in the presidential race, and always specifically Macomb County. What are voters telling you about what could be a very contentious political season?
Yeah, and I do listen. I hear what the public is saying, and I've been doing this for 26 years as an elected official, but with the county for 43. Lived and born and raised here. And when I hear people, I got to be honest. I mean, what we're hearing right now is they're looking for different candidates. People in Macomb County are not satisfied with either party's candidate. And so the unfortunate reality is there's a lot of disinterest in this election moving forward. And it's unfortunate because you're probably going to get that voter mindset of, lesser of two evils. And I hate that thought process. How can we get excited about an actual candidate that we want to vote for at the national level, our president? But we're not seeing that right now, and that's a disappointment. So again, you're hoping that somebody breaks through on either side, maybe both sides, with different candidates, so that maybe people can get more excited and more people will want to turn out and vote for a candidate that they really truly would wish would be the leader of this particular country. So that's what I'm hearing from voters here in Macomb County.
Yeah, and I know that we're going to be talking about it starting in January. Mark Hackle, Macomb County Executive, thanks so much. Good stuff on Mound Road opening up. Appreciate your time. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next year.
Thanks, Christy. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All righty.